What does Bobby Drake like to eat for breakfast? Ice Krispies. All right, you stopped by to check out Comic Book Editions Volume 127, and I'm so glad that you did. I realize there's a few ratio incentive covers that I've recently added to my comic book collection, so as I continue to welcome you to the channel, let's start looking at some of those. The first one up is Dark Crisis: A World Without Wonder Woman, issue number 1. This is the 1 in 25 incentive cover. If you're new to my YouTube channel, I hope you take this opportunity to subscribe. It's a great way to show support to the channel. Sharing this channel and this video with someone that you think might be interested, who would subscribe as well, is another great way to show support. I'd love in the comment section below if you let me know what your favorite book is that I'm showing in today's video. We can dialogue about that and many other things in the comment section below. Giving this video a thumbs up, a like is also appreciated and another good way to show support. So recently in the Wonder Woman main title, they've been doing a lot of ratio incentive covers. It has been a little while since they've done ratio incentive covers. This is the 1 in 25 cover for issue number 791, spotlighting Cheetah. I'm not exactly sure the reason why they just decided to pick up and start doing ratio incentive covers now, since they haven't been doing them for some time. I mean, it's not issue 800. That's not going to be coming until the summer. I would understand that for issue 800. I'm kind of hoping financially that they don't continue to do ratio incentive covers all the way up to issue number 800. I'm a completionist, you know, and it's expensive to be a completionist. And if you're one, you know all about what I'm talking about. There were 2 ratio incentive covers for issue number 792. This is the 1 in 25 incentive cover. I do really like this artwork. It has shades of Xena in it to me. She looks very Xena-like in that pose, especially with the sword showcasing so prominently on the cover. Yeah, this was one that when I saw the solicited artwork in advance for this, I was like, yeah, that's cool. You know, I don't mind paying extra money for a ratio incentive cover if it's a fantastic cover and an image I can't get somewhere else. Then I'm like, yeah, I get it, you know. But the next cover that I'm about to show you, same issue 792, but this is the 1 in 50. So I knew it was going to be a Cheetah ratio incentive cover, but I'm going to be honest with you, I'm disappointed in this. I was kind of disappointed in the other previous issue Cheetah incentive cover that I showed you as well. I was excited that Cheetah would have ratio incentive covers, and then I saw the artwork and I was like, really? What do you think about some of these ratio incentive covers that I have shown or am about to show? Do you think that they're worth the extra money or not? That's something else that we can dialogue about in the comment section below. But the 2 Cheetah ones, for me, didn't hit the mark. Very disappointed in those. Last month's issue of Wonder Woman 793 had a 1 in 25 incentive cover. So I like the concept art for this, but the detail in Wonder Woman's face I wasn't exactly crazy about. The story in this issue I liked a lot. It's just a one-off issue from the current Wonder Woman storyline that reunites the Trinity. So Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman go up to the abandoned JLA watchtower because there's a signal emitting from the tower, and they go to check out what's going on. I thought it was a good story. So like that, I've enjoyed most of the regular main A and variant covers for the book, but some of these incentive covers just haven't tripped my trigger a whole lot. There's one other incentive cover from a different title that I've added to my collection that I do want to show you. So this is Nubia and the Justice League, a one-shot that recently came out. This is just like the regular A cover, except it's a virgin cover, and as you can tell, it's foiled out of its mind. This is a 1 in 25 incentive cover. Wonder Woman's current creative team, Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad, wrote this story. Now, they didn't write the Nubia miniseries that came out in the last year or so. So I was anxious to see them spend a little more attention with this character, and I like what they did. They really put Nubia in center spotlight, as she should. She's the main star of this one-shot book. I like the way that they wrote her. I've said this in previous videos, and I'm just gonna state it again. Currently in the Wonder Woman comic book, they have a backup series, The Adventures of Young Diana. It's okay. I kind of wish they would scrap that concept and just do Nubia stories as the backup. I think that would be much more interesting, much more compelling of a read each month in the issues. I always enjoy the main storyline, and then I kind of get to the backup story, and it's, it's kind of a take it or leave it for me. But if they'd put Nubia in the backup every month, I think that would be awesome. She's a good character. I'm glad she's finally getting some recognition that she deserves after 50 years of being around and hardly used. By the way, DC NFT celebrated Nubia's 50th anniversary with a NFT release recently, and I don't know why. I purchased one, I guess for the funsies of it, and I did the reveal on that on a recent Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. So check out that video at the end if you want to see how my NFT did. It was the Retro Review, where the Retro Review was focused on Batman and the Outsiders and Teen Titans crossover, and then at the end we did the NFT reveal of what level of rarity my NFT was or wasn't. I do want to follow up on last week's comic book editions video, volume 126, the AOK from Tony Fett. You know, I showed the Wonder Woman 80th anniversary comic book that Tony got signed for me. He AOK'd it to me last year, and then I sent it back to him, and he got it signed again with more signatures from this past year's Baltimore Comic-Con. Some folks have asked me, what signatures do I have left to completely complete this title? So I thought I'd just share with you right now who those are. I'm not going to list every individual name, but you see on your screen right now, that's a list of who I need to be able to completely complete the signatures regarding this book. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not. It's kind of a fun little goal, something to chase along, and any more that I'm able to X off of that list and get added to that comic book would be awesome. I think this is the comic book that I have more signatures on than any other individual book. So that's kind of fun and kind of cool in itself, and if I can chase down any more of these people, it would be all the sweeter. Let's turn to some of the back issues that I've recently added into my collection. The first one comes from 1972. It's Adventure Comics number 422. Not crazy about this cover. I think it's because Supergirl's kind of down in the corner, and she isn't front and center, even though she's the headliner of this issue. And I get why they're doing this. If you're getting King Kong vibes from looking at the cover of this book, you're supposed to. And that's evident from reading the story. They reference King Kong and Fay Ray inside of the story. I've been working on my Adventure Comics run where Supergirl was a headliner, so it's nice to get another issue for that. I didn't get a whole bunch of them this year, but I did get a couple, so it was another one to be able to check off the list. Supergirl did so well headlining Adventure Comics that she ended up getting her own series following that, which spun off into her co-headlining in the Superman Family title, which led to the new Daring Adventures of Supergirl series. But this was the beginning. Adventure was the first time she ever headlined her own comic book. And I'm working on getting all the issues from that run. I'll definitely be continuing that in 2023. The story also has a backup story, Vigilante, if you remember him. Not the Teen Titans version, the Wolfman Perez version, but I'm talking the original Vigilante in DC Comics that, had the Western guy with the handkerchief that went over his nose to cover up most of his face, and the cowboy hat. It has a backup story with him too. That was kind of a throwaway, forgettable story. Another book that I'm working on the run for is Justice League of America Volume 1, and here's issue number 28. This is a cover that I'm very familiar with. I think that this image had been licensed out and used on a product or two as well a few years back. And this is classic DC Silver Age. And you know what that means? The story's a little bit out there. I will say the events on the cover do actually take place inside the story. One of the villains in the story is Tattooed Man too. He was I think there's 3 villains in the story. He was like the only one that I really recognized. Some DC Silver Age, some of it is good, and some of it you just have to take it for the times. Some of it doesn't age well. This is one of the ones I'd say that doesn't age very well. I think the cover is really cool and a little bit iconic in the cover, but the story itself didn't age all that well. There's around 80 some issues or so from Volume 1 that I still have left to be able to complete my run. And most of those 80 issues that I need are pre-issue 100. There's only a few issues after 100 that I need. I don't think I'm going to get that wrapped up in 2023, but if I keep chucking away on it like I've done this year, maybe in 2024, by the end of that, I can get it completed. I will say there are a lot of the keys I already have from volume 1. So getting issue number 1 earlier this year certainly was a little bit unexpected and a big motivator to be able to get the rest of the issues. So I want to show you a slab. Actually, I bought 2 slabs, but you're only going to see one. Let me tell you why. The other slab I'm saving for my 1K giveaway. And it's going to be part of that. It's something I'm going to give away. I'm already starting to think about that, even though I haven't hit 700 subscribers yet. It would be awesome if I still could hit 700 subscribers before the year's over with. Technically, I already surpassed 700 subscribers. I had a YouTube short that did 18K views, and I got a ton of subs from that. Of course, they all came, within several hours, so YouTube freaks out about that and took away several of my subs and knocked me down below 700. But if I could get back to 700 before the year's over with, that would be awesome. If it doesn't happen because it's been moving slow, then I guess that's just something we chase in 2023 to try to get that back. So there's one slab that I've already purchased, thinking ahead to some of the giveaways I want to do in that celebration when 1K occurs. But there was another slab that I added to my collection that I'm so excited about because I honestly didn't think that I would end up getting this book, let alone a slab copy of this book. So we have a CGC 4.5 of Tales of Suspense, number 53. This is the second appearance of Black Widow. So Black Widow made her first appearance in the previous issue, which I own a raw copy of. I actually remember buying 53 when I was a childhood collector as a back issue. My family visited relatives in the Chicago area, and one of my cousins said, I'm going to take you to a Chicago comic book store. And I still remember, I don't remember everything about the store, but I remember parts of that. I remember some of the books I bought there. And I do remember seeing that Tales of Suspense 53, knowing it was the first Black Widow. It was in lower grade, still is in lower grade, but I bought it for $3. So I've always wanted to have the second appearance of Black Widow, which is in this issue. And this is a sign of the times. I reread this issue. I reread it digitally after I picked up the slab. And I do think I have a reprint of it, though. I think a couple of years ago when the Black Widow movie came out, there was a reprint that had her first appearance and her second appearance all in the same book, like in Marvel's True Believers line. But, essentially, remember, Black Widow was a villain back then, and her outfit was an evening dress, a fur stole, and a pillbox hat. But she kind of calls Tony Stark up and she's like, hey, remember when we met and I tried to kill you? Well, sorry about that. You want to get together again? And he's kind of like, ooh, she's so beautiful. Of course I want to get together again. So he says yes. And of course, there's problems again. Black Widow has stolen some things for her government. And that's kind of the chaos that ensues around this issue. I would love to get more early Black Widow appearances. I'd love to get her first costume appearance. And I'd love to get the Spider-Man book that is her first costume appearance in the classic costume that we really know her with, like that black skin-tight suit with the belt. I'd love to get that. You will see some more Black Widow related comic books in future comic book editions videos on my channel next year, though, for sure. I can guarantee that, as a matter of fact. Now, getting her third appearance, which I think came 4 months later, was it 57? I think Tales of Suspense 57 is her third appearance. Getting an original of that book is going to be a little bit tough because that issue is also the first appearance of Hawkeye. So there's some bucks associated with it. But I never thought I'd end up getting this book. And so who knows, maybe I will be able to. In the meantime, I do have a copy of the facsimile that was released earlier this summer held for me. I don't have it actually in hand yet. It's been paid for, and I'm just filling a box and getting it completely filled up before I have it shipped out to me. But I'll have a facsimile copy of it for sure, but someday I'd like to get the original third appearance of Black Widow / first Hawkeye, and then keep working and chugging away as many of those early Black Widow appearances that I can get for my collection. Very stoked to be wrapping up the year with another slab in my collection. And I can honestly say, at the beginning of the year, this wasn't even on my radar. It wasn't even something I was looking for. But sometimes, as I've said before, comic books find you, and you have to be open to it and take advantage of the situation when it presents itself, because you might not get another situation like that again, which I know from experience. So, psyched about this one in the collection. All right, so now I'm at the point where I need to tell you something, and I've been dreading telling this to you and sharing this with you. You might remember earlier this summer how excited I was. I kind of rebooted my life and had the chance to, I made a life decision. I moved to a new town to manage a comic book store. And man, have I learned a lot about the comic book industry since doing that. And when I say manage the comic store, not only was I managing it, I was the sole employee of it. Well, the owner of the comic book store last month decided to close. And it was due to personal reasons, and also, I believe, just financially, it wasn't there what he was hoping the store to do. I know you're probably thinking, didn't you just open? The store was open 19 weeks. I don't know if that's a fair shot, really, for a brand new business. It is what it is. You can't force someone to do something that they don't want to do. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but I want to tell this story, which I had to share that with you. There's been a lot of humbling things I've had to do in the last couple of weeks, and this is another one of them, is sharing that news with you. Wasn't and not looking forward to the moment of saying these words to you. And I know a lot of people will reach out with words of support or something in the comments, and I want to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not looking forward to that either, because it reminds me that it's not there. I mean, people were saying you're living the dream. For 19 weeks or 20 weeks, a week ahead of time to set up, I was living the dream. And now I'm tied into a lease in a town that I don't want to be in. A lease that says I can't move in the wintertime. And it feels like I'm living the nightmare. On the final day we were open, and a lot of times I don't like talking about my customers, because if most of my customers don't even know this YouTube channel exists. But if they would stumble upon it and they say, oh, he talked about this customer and he didn't talk about me. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they weren't special to me. The people that came into that store meant the world to me. And the fact that I haven't seen them for weeks, it bothers me. And I miss those people. The comic books were awesome. The people were even better. But on the final day we were open, one of my customers / friends, Josh, came in. And Josh usually would come in about twice a week, and he's the type of collector that's just looking for a good book to read. He doesn't care what company it is or what character. If it's good, he wants to read it. And something Josh did that I want to make perfectly clear, other people were trying to do this ahead of time, and I kind of stopped them. When people found out the store was closing, they're like, I want to get you a book. They wanted to reach out. There was a lot of concern about me, which is very sweet. And some people are like, I want to buy you a book, and money's tight. I don't want people to buy a book for me. I know that their intention in doing that isn't pity or anything else like that, but I just wasn't comfortable with that. I would like them to get another book for themselves and for their collection. And some people did. And there were some people, that still pressed on a little bit. And I said, why don't I pick out a book that I really like and enjoy, and you get it for yourself. And that way, when you read it, you'll remember that it was a favorite book of mine. So on the last day that we were open, Josh came in and picked up a lot of purchases. And he'd never done this before. He wanted to pay half on credit card, half in cash, which is fine. And he said he wanted the credit card transaction done first. So I took care of that. And then with his remaining purchase, he paid in cash, $100 bill. I got his change for him, handed him his change, and he wouldn't take it. He said, keep the change. And I'm like, Josh, I can't do that. And trust me, this is hitting me completely out of the blue. I wasn't thinking about that or anything else like that at the time that it happened. And I remember he started saying all these nice things about how nice I was to him and how good I am at the job. And I couldn't look at him because there were tears in the back of my eyes. And I knew if I looked at him, I couldn't do it. I just remember looking at the counter, kind of seeing the money off to the side and just looking at the counter and the ground because I couldn't look at him. And he said all this nice stuff to me, and I'm just focused on trying to keep it together at this point. And he said, I'm not picking up the money from the counter. If you don't take it, somebody else is going to, but I'm not. And I do remember saying thank you, but I knew I couldn't look at him. And he left the store, and I took a moment right after he left to go in the back and just take a deep breath away from everyone. I spent 90 seconds collecting myself and went back out and completed the job. But I almost lost it later on. When the store closed, there's some books that I pulled back for myself. And when the store closed, I went to pay for them. And I knew I had too many books than what I could afford. And one of the books that I was going to have to put back is actually the one I'm going to show you now. This is the SheHulk, the Savage SheHulk Omnibus. Now get this. This is when I almost started to lose it again. With the money that Josh left and the discount I had, it paid for this book with like 60 cents left over. And when I realized that, I almost lost it. It was like it was meant to be. And every time that I see this book or read it or enjoy it, it's because of Josh, because I was going to have to put this book back. This omnibus came out earlier this year, and you know what? I have all the individual issues. It's on the Marvel app, but there was something about this omnibus that I just wanted this so bad, and I loved it. And we had a couple copies of it, and this collects the entire 25 issue Savage SheHulk run, which is my favorite. And then it has her Marvel Team Up 88, Marvel 2-in-1 88 with the Thing, and their story in this issue. So there's 26 issues together in this omnibus. And this is the previews exclusive cover. The regular main A cover is an original Frank Cho piece of art. And honestly, I like this one better. That homage, it's not even an homage, it's the direct art from her first appearance. Which is interesting because Savage SheHulk cover is an homage to the Hulk's first appearance. So that's awesome. I wouldn't have this book if it wasn't for Josh. And don't get me wrong, all those other people that have offered, and I was trying to talk Josh out of it, and I was unsuccessful. But things happen for a reason. And I've just decided to accept it and be okay with it and be grateful for him and everyone else that offered. It doesn't matter if I accepted the offer from you or not. It's the thought that went behind making the offer. It means more to me than anything else. So only one person was able to get one up over on me, and it was good old Josh. So I miss the people from the store very much. I miss that job very much. I didn't move to this town to do something else. I moved to this town to run that comic book store. I'm proud of it. So many times I heard people say, this is a clean store. I love the layout of it. I love the way the store looks. I love what you have for merchandise. And at the same time, even literally the day we were closing, people are saying, I didn't even know that the store was here. I'm going to be okay. I don't want you to worry about me, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not okay right now. My mental health isn't very good. I don't feel like me at times. for whatever reason, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be at in life, even though I don't want to be where I'm at. But it does feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. And there is a little bit of comfort in that. I'm lonely. But it's going to be okay. I don't want you to worry about me. I don't want you to try to do something. This is not a call to action. Please, I'm not in the right frame of mind to receive. I don't want you to feel sorry for me and send me a book or send me anything. I don't want you to do anything that you wouldn't have just normally done. Because right now, I'm just not at that place where I can receive that. You know, I love doing YouTube, but I found myself going, I should just quit my channel. And, you know, that's not going to be the plan. I'm definitely going to take some time off during the holidays, but most people do anyway. And I think I do need that break from it. And we'll talk a little bit about the schedule going forward in a few moments. Since I'm at this point in this video, I've laid some heavy news on you. I want to segue out of me, and I want to address something else real briefly. And that's the passing of John Thomas, JT. I'm incredibly sad about that and want to send my love and condolences and thoughts to his family and friends. I was able to do a live stream with him, and I cherish that. When I heard he passed, the first thing that I thought was, you know, oh no, he was always so nice to me. And that was the truth. He didn't have his own YouTube channel. He had an Instagram, but he was a guest on many YouTube channels, and he was part of the, There's some great things with John Thomas, and the collecting industry lost a great friend, and the world lost a great person. I'm very happy that I had the chance to get to know him. Let's show another book before we wrap it up, okay? All right, so this character was pretty hot and talked about a lot, you know, in February of 2021, so almost 2 years ago when he made his debut, but it's Radiant Black, and I have a sketch cover version. I actually was given 3 copies of it, because 1 isn't enough, 2 is enough, 3 is enough, though. I haven't read this yet. For some reason, this character always kind of reminded me of Nova. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case once I actually read it or not. But we will check it out and find out. So that's pretty awesome. So that's going to wrap up the books that I wanted to show you in today's comic book editions video. Let's focus more about the books in the comment section. That'd be awesome. Oh, maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm not done talking about the books. I'm not going to pull up a copy. I'll just put it on the side here for you to take a look at. Female Force Loretta Lynn is available wherever you buy books at, and it's a great holiday gift. I'm a little bit biased in saying that, though. So I thought I would share that with you, and thanks to everyone who purchased a copy. And be on the lookout for more writing from yours truly being published by Tidal Wave Comics in 2023. So going forward, there's a few Fanboys Live and the Retro Review shows, including this upcoming Sunday. There'll be another show. A few more of those left this year. Then we'll take a little bit of a holiday hiatus as well. I am going to continue doing the back issue of the week 1-minute shorts that drop on Monday mornings. I really enjoy those. And I think for me, I find them fun to do. I hope that you enjoy them as much as I enjoy presenting that information to you. I think you get a lot about one issue all within 60 seconds. So if you haven't checked those out, I hope that you will sometime. But those are going to keep continuing. You know, I've done almost a year solid of them, and I don't want to miss a week. I want to keep going for that, even during the holiday times when people like myself are going to take some time off. So look for those. My next comic book editions video is probably going to be a live video. Comics for Thomas has been working on an AOK for me for a while, and usually when he sends those off, I like to unbox those live. And he has told me that he's getting ready to mail one out. I don't know if it's going to be before the holidays or after. It doesn't matter, and no pressure to Thomas to send them out earlier. Just whenever it gets here, that will probably be my next comic book editions video. It will be a live some evening with Thomas joining me. So look for that in the future too. As for now, that brings us to an end for this comic book editions video. Thank you for watching today. I hope that you have a blessed and enjoyous, that's not even a word. Hope that you have a blessed and enjoyable holiday season. Enjoyable, is that a word? I hope you have a blessed holiday season and enjoy it. Sometimes it takes 3 times to spit out what you want to say. And thank you for making it to the end of this video. You guys take care, and I'll see you soon.